Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tuesday's market update. We have a primary live trade brief coming up at 10 a.m. A lot to cover, and futures are up right now means absolutely nothing. This is what a bottom looks like, this jagged up and down. I told my Afterburner trading thread last night, I said this is what a bottom is going to look like. We're going to see these massive swings up, down for a while. But this is very important, and my Facebook thread is already starting to be filled with people. I feel like crap. I can't breathe. Remember, the folks that are critically ill right now in the hospitals in our country, let alone the world, the folks that are critically ill in the United States got sick 2 weeks ago, folks, maybe even a little bit longer because you're asymptomatic for a couple days. Use your brain. So the president's 15-day clock. The 15-day clock needs to start, hit that stopwatch, when everybody's inside and locked down. That 15-day clock didn't start a couple days ago, Mr. President, but he has drawn a line in the sand. Listen to me, this is epic. Watching that press conference last night, a couple things. First of all, there was one guy that wasn't on stage for the second day in a row. Who was it? The guy I've been listening to and I trust more than the president. And it's Dr. Facui. And for all of you inverted Trump derangement syndrome people, he's a Clinton sycophant and a Clinton this. Grow up. He's one of the only adults on the stage that I'm listening to. Drop the partisanship. Facui, gone from the stage for the second day in a row. He's given several interviews. I read these interviews. He's more or less said, guys, what do you want me to do? Drag him away from the podium? He's not listening to me. I'm listening to that guy and Dr. Birx. They're both fantastic. Rational, calm, not screaming at reporters. But last night, ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I would see anything like this in my entire lifetime. This is the first time in our republic's history, right? So the president is a businessman and he's using math. Dr. Fauci's I think he's a virologist, don't even know what he is, but smart dude, he's using math. So it's the battle of the math right now. And it looks like the president's coming down on the side of the math that says, you know what? More people are going to die as a result of this economic recession. We're currently in a recession, folks. That's a fact. We might move into a depression. So at a point, we have battling Excel sheets right now. Trump says, math. We have got to get this country back up and running or it's over with for the United States. We will be in a depression and it's going to suck. The other Excel sheet is a Dr. Fauci and the CDC's with numbers, folks. We've plugged in all the data from around the world. And by the way, if you believe China's data, you're an idiot. Well, China's doing this right now, and they caused this, folks. And they're now blaming us for it. You're going to use China's math in the calculation of anything and mortality rates? That's stupid. But anyway, let's just go with Italy's math and Singapore and all the other countries' math, folks. So there's a doctor Excel sheet that says this will happen, and Trump's that goes this. The man has flipped a coin, right? It's going to be Hunger Games versus Wall Street, folks. The president is saying, hey, first of all, he's hit the ball over the net to the governors. He's kind of, I'm done. It's theirs. I'm going to let Gavin and Anthony or whatever Andrew up in New York take care of their stuff, and I'm here to help and support in any way. The president on the federal level wants to open the country as quickly as possible, and apparently on his Excel sheet, there's an acceptable number of American deaths. Right? This is where we are in this country, folks, and I've never thought I'd see anything like this in my life. The headline, I can't believe I'm actually going to quote CNN here, but a great article on CNN last night. I want to punch myself for saying that. Hong Kong appeared to have the coronavirus under control, then it let its guard down. So Hong Kong, massive financial capital around one of the massive financial capitals around the world. Great liberty, unless you get too drunk, and then Shore Patrol shows up. But if the Shore Patrol is led by the XO of your sister squadron, then you get let go. Anyway, so Hong Kong, we can't shut down. We're Hong Kong, man. And they kind of did what Trump wants to do. And now they're regretting it. They're getting slammed. I get the president's point. He brought up, why are we shutting down Nebraska? No offense to everybody in Nebraska. I know oil and stuff like that. It ain't Florida and it ain't California. So yay, Nebraska. I get kind of the scaled approach, but for investing and trading, we literally have a line in the sand now. We have a date. I love this as an investor and a trader. This is fantastic. March 31st. March 31st, the president has said, we're going to evaluate at that point what we're going to do. Now you got a date. So what happens on that date? The president's either going to decide, I already know what the president's going to decide, and so do you, but the president's going to decide based on talking to everybody, what he's going to do. Okay? Why, folks? Because if on March 31st, the president's like, you know what? Everybody told me it's not as good as I thought it would be right now, and we do really need to lock down, or we're going to continue the 15 days of social, whatever we're supposed to be doing. He's not going to do that, unfortunately. So Fauci is a shut it down. He's a doctor. How do you kill a virus, folks? You shut down. You starve it of potential hosts. How do you not kill a virus? You let everybody out except for, the really bad quarantined areas. How's that going to work, folks? I mean, the governor DeSantis of Florida, finally, he's like, no flights, nobody from New Jersey, New York let into Florida. Thank God Boca Raton's going to turn back to normal. No more people I'm from Jersey, exit 44. But it's too late, Governor DeSantis. But betting that we'll be able to keep this thing contained in New York or San Francisco or Chicago or wherever's having the Washington State is a death hole right now. That's a gamble. The president of the United States is making the biggest gamble in our nation's history. Could be right. He could absolutely be right. What happens on April 1st, folks, besides the worst April Fool's joke that has hit this country? The first week, so March 31st ends what? The first quarter. What starts happening the first week in April? Earnings. Okay? So if Trump actually listens to the folks on March 31st who say, man, this thing's still bad, or it's actually worse, we need to shut down, their earnings calls in the beginning of April are going to be medieval, okay? So the president, ladies and gentlemen, is taking a gamble. Fauci gone off the stage twice, 2 great interviews I'll talk about in my live trade brief at 10 a.m. that Fauci's like, hey, he's completely full of shit or he's telling truth to power. Not that I want to quote an AOC term or anything like that, but it's the truth. The guy's a booger eater, man. And Dr. Birx looks the same way. It's about the math and the data. And they're giving that to a dude who's a businessman who goes, I'll be bankrupt. I can't operate like this. So I'm going to have to make a decision. He's making a decision. And I got to be honest with you, based on a lot of the social media stuff I see flying around, he's like, did he end it last night or are we? No, folks, we are still going to be locked down in Casa de Buckley here in Boca Raton. It is not worth the risk. I have to remind you that the clock doesn't start for all of us until everybody's locked down. Those idiots in Miami and Boca and Fort Lauderdale, now it's popping up all around the news like popcorn. The spring breakers flew back to wherever, and now 5 of them are infected, and they saw their mom, their dad, their grannies, and grandpas. Welcome back from spring break, honey. Hi, Gramps. Here's a present for you. I've never seen anything like this. We were on the Afterburner thread during the press conference last night. It was insane. And the guy, I get what he's doing. We're going to stay up here as long as possible to answer all your questions to show that we're fully open. You need to shut up, Mr. President. You need to shut up. I thought you were doing a great job a couple weeks ago by appointing Fauci, by appointing Pence to run lead on this, and you just can't. You can't. Your ego won't let you get out of the way, dude. If I were you, I'd do what Xi Jinping did. He appointed his number 2 in China, and he disappeared for 3 weeks. We didn't see him in public. I had buddies in alphabet agencies going, he might have it. And he appointed his number 2. That's a great strategy. Just like the Skip River Squadron. Like, the XO's in charge of this, and if it succeeds, I'll take the credit, and if it doesn't, I'm going to throw him under the bus. But he can't. So, futures are up right now. We have some bearish trades on. And if you're looking at the futures right now, or when the market opens and you're freaking out that you're, quote, losing money, you have no idea what you're doing. Absolutely none. Remember, folks, step 3 of our trade plan, right? On all of our full throttle training, we have a trade plan. You have to be executing to a plan, right? We call it commit criteria. Why did you get, it's taken from fighter terminology, folks, commit criteria. Why did I point my nose down range to go look at bad guys and potentially get killed? Boom, boom, boom. These 5 things are met. Boom. We talk about it in trading the same way. What are the 3 to 4 reasons why I got into this trade, why I committed capital? If those reasons are still valid, Go sit outside. Go take the dog for a walk and avoid every human being. Do not look at it. Matter of fact, if your commit criteria are even stronger as to why you got in that trade and the trade's red, I add to it. This is Gordon Gekko moments, folks. If you're looking at a red trade today and you're like, oh my God, I'm losing money, you don't know what you're doing and you need to stop trading and go put your money in a Folgers can. I am old enough to know what a Folgers can is. Does that make sense? Okay? Or you're trading too big. These are the days. Do you think this is the bottom here? We're a little bit of a relief rally based on what? Nancy Pelosi putting fucking solar exemptions and Green New Deal and all sorts of diversity stuff, folks. They're putting, people are out of work, people are dying, and Nancy Pelosi's adding diversity, mandatory diversity at the corporate board level. Instead of having a bunch of women, a bunch of men, a mixture of men and women, or dudes that are women or women that are dudes, who cares? The most qualified people running American companies, Nancy Pelosi and her piece of shit Democrats want to force diversity. Folks, if I was the chairman of the board of a company, if a pack of wild rabid dogs could run the company better than humans, I'd appoint them to run the company. They're bringing up diversity in a moment like this. We're going to force, not the most qualified people on a board. We want a diverse board. That's your leaders. They're fiddling as Rome's burning. I think it's fantastic. I think the I thought they shot themselves in the foot with the impeachment crap and the Mueller hoax and you name it. You put Stormy Daniels, everything has failed. So now they're going to go after the president and try and destroy him politically. It's a disgrace. I think, I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Democrats and liberals right now are domestic enemies, period. Whose side are you on? This is a big corporate bailout. I'm fairly certain it isn't. We know that I will take pitchforks and a torch up to Washington if they bail out corporate. We learned this the last time, folks. The banks didn't need to be bailed out during 2008. It was a cocaine snorting C student from wherever he went, Yale, Harvard, George Bush. When Hank Paulson, who ran Goldman Sachs and was the Treasury Secretary, runs into the Oval Office and says, you need to bail out Wall Street or we're all going to die. Who was he worried about? His buddies at Goldman Sachs, his house in the Hamptons. So if you're George Bush and you're like, duh, I'm a good guy to have a beer with, I'll do whatever you say we need to do. That's how that whole thing started, and Obama ran with it. No. The reason we're in this situation, folks, is because not everybody gets a trophy. That mentality is what is destroying the market. Your 401k is a 01k because of the Uncle Sammy's got to save us and bail us out. Our founding fathers are spinning in their graves at 1,000 RPMs going, are you shitting me? This is what we gave you. This turned into a government of people expecting the government to rescue you. God, these people landed on these shores and built it with their bare hands, man. And here we are with people like, it's interesting that I thought not living in 9/11 was living in history. And it's sad for what happened to this country. We will never forget what happened. I will never forget what happened. But this will change the fabric of this country. But the Democrats using this to score political points that they can't win at the ballot box, especially at the national level. Joe Biden's got dementia. He doesn't even know where he is. You see him yesterday mumbling before he getting into the car? He was trying to say something about Trump, and he's like, well, I see Bernie's joining Trump. And the aides just kind of put, like Secret Service agents almost, like just pushed him into the car as he was still mumbling. My prediction, and I'm sticking with this, is Andrew Cuomo. Can't stand the dude. Liberal, tax and spend, partial birth abortion. He's the worst Democrat there is. Anti-gun. Looks pretty calm, cool, and collected. And I think he's doing a semi-decent job. And Gavin Newsom, he looks like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. I can't stand Gavin Newsom and not doing half a bad job. So we have a line in the sand, March 31st. Either Trump's saying we're all good, get back to work, or we're not. And if we're not, I'm buying disaster puts at the open at 2,000 out to like April 1st. Going to be very, very, I told you the easy money's been made. Now it's going to get interesting. And then the second time the easy money is going to be able to be made is on the straight up. So get ready to batten down the hatches. Okay, I got to get ready for my 10 o'clock brief. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge and God bless. We'll get through this, man. I promise.